Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to start making some artwork for a game that we're going to be working on this term. The game is going to be somewhat like Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So if you look here, in the center of the screen, we have our main character. This is Link from the Zelda series, if you've never played Zelda before. And Link is, we're looking at him from above him, right? So it's a top-down kind of view. And he has these 4 directional sprites. So facing down, facing right, facing left, and facing up. He has a bunch of other animations like lifting the rock there, or running, or his sword swipe and all that. This is a very complicated looking character. We're not actually going to make a character this complicated. We are going to create our own kind of basic character. So I'm going to show you how to start planning out some artwork. We're going to use a website called Piskel, Piskel, piskelapp.com. So if we go to this website, you will see something that looks kind of like this. Let me close out these other tabs here. Now, this website used to allow you to create your own account, but they're not allowing you to create your own account now. What is downloads? I'm interested. Oh, you can download this application offline. Interesting. Okay, cool. Anyway, so in the Piskel app, we want to start with Create Sprite. So we're going to click on Create Sprite, and it's going to take us to a blank sprite here. The first thing I want to do is I want to start thinking about what do I want. Well, actually, let's consider this first. Down here in the bottom right hand corner, you can see that this is set to 32 by 32. That means this canvas is 32 pixels across. Okay, 32 pixels across and 32 pixels tall. Okay. Oh, I accidentally, let me erase those real quick. And so in this canvas here, I can actually start drawing. I can draw my character. Now, my character is going to be, I don't know, maybe myself. So maybe I'll do a version of myself in my own game. Or a knight, or, a spaceman, or whatever you want, right? So to create your character, you really have a couple of options here. One, if you're pretty good with drawing with the mouse and if you're good with drawing with the mouse, you can use your pen tool here, and you can choose your color. So let's say, I don't know, cool green, and you can just start drawing. Now, it's always best to leave at least 1 pixel buffer on the outside of your design, just so that whenever we start playing around with this thing, we don't have our art going all the way to the very edge. So leave 1 pixel on the edges here. And then, you can basically just start, you can just kind of go from there, right? So that wasn't as round as I wanted, so I'm going to extend that. So the pencil tool here basically will allow you to, or the pen tool will allow you to fill in individual pixels. Right below that, we have the paint bucket tool. And the paint bucket tool will let you fill in an area of the design just by clicking. And it goes off of, so the pixel that you click on, it will color all of those pixels of the same color that are connected to each other the same. Let me change this to another color so you can see an example of what that means. So if I click here, notice that it changed all of these pixels to orange because those pixels were all connected, but these aren't, right? So it's not going to color those in. I can go in here and continue doing that. You can use the paint bucket tool to very quickly change up the colors on your sprite if you'd like. All right. You have your eraser tool. So if you make a mistake, you can come in with your eraser tool and you can erase some stuff if you'd like. The stroke tool. The stroke tool will draw a straight line. That's pretty much what it will do. You can just click and drag and it will draw a straight line on your design. The rectangle tool does exactly what you think. It draws a rectangle. The move tool will let you move your design around in your palette. So if you want it to be up here instead of down here, whatever, you can move it around. The rectangle select, if you want to select a certain portion, you can copy that. So Control C, and then we can come down here and, oh, that didn't work. Oh, it's because I'm on different layers. Anyway, we're not going to play around with layers. We don't need to worry about that. You can ignore the rectangle select tool. The vertical mirror pen. This one's actually pretty great. Let me do some things here. By the way, your color picker is a really fantastic tool. So if you want to go back to a color you were using, you can use the color picker and click on it and it will change your primary color. I'm just going to come in here and fill all this in so that we have some extra room. All right. So this vertical mirror pen is pretty great. What it'll do is if you hold Control, then you can mirror your design on the horizontal axis. If you hold Shift, it'll mirror on the horizontal and vertical axis. If you don't hold anything, then it'll mirror just on the vertical. So here's what I mean. If I start here in the middle and start drawing, oh, I need to change my color. Let's go with a red. And start drawing. Notice how it's mirroring on both sides, right? It mirrored on the vertical axis. If I want the horizontal axis, I can hold Control and I can mirror on the horizontal axis just like that. Or if I want both, then I can go with Shift and it will mirror on both. By the way, to get rid of those, the last thing that I did, I'm just hitting Control Z. Control Z. All right. This paint bucket tool will color all of the tool or all of the pixels the same color as the one I selected, even if they're not connected. So if I do that, it'll do the entire outline. We have our circle tool as well. That's there. Anyway, so all of these tools are available to you. Let's say you get done with your design. We've made a 32 by 32 design. Now you want to stick with 32 by 32. You don't want to really go 64 or any bigger than that. We want to stick with 32 by 32. This game is going to be a very pixelated kind of game. We're going to make a retro looking game. So we want to stick with this design right here. So we're going to do 32 by 32. Now, when we're done, there are two ways that we need to save our work. One is we need to save it as a Piskel file, basically a file that we can upload back into Piskel so that we can continue modifying this and making changes to it as we want. So in order to do that, we need to come over here to save. We need to give our design a name. Oh, hold on. We need to give our design a name. So I'm going to call mine main character. And it says save as .piskel. So we can say save as .piskel, click there, and it will download. Notice that down here, it downloaded a .piskel file. So in my downloads folder, I will have a file called main character.piskel. Now, that is not an image. I can't, let me show you. Let's open that, show that in folder. I can't like double click it and do anything with it. It's not going to open. It's not going to work, right? And so this Piskel file is only going to work in Piskel itself, right? So in order to get a picture that I can turn in for my assignment and a picture that I can upload to Unity or whatever I'm using to design my game, I also need to export this, right? So I need to save it as a Piskel file and I need to export it. Now we're going to export everything as a PNG. So I want to make sure PNG is selected. And I'm going to choose this first option, download as a sprite sheet. And when that happens, notice that I have main character.png. And if I open that, it'll open it up in a picture viewer application, and that is my main character. Okay. There are a lot of things we can do with this. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of examples of what your main character maybe should look like. Again, we don't want to do the full body like we did with Zelda because it's going to be a lot of designing, a lot of design work. If you do want to do that, that's up to you. It really depends on who your character is in the game. Let me see. Let me pause. How do I... Oh, you know what? I'm not going to pause it. I'm just going to sign in. I'm going to show you a couple of designs that I've created. I created a Pascal account years ago, and so I actually have a bunch of artwork in here, and I'll show you. So, for example, here's a spaceman that I created. It's a very simple piece of art, right? It's a very simple spaceman. So it's just the top view. That's something you can do. Where is... Are they getting rid of some of my stuff? There was one of me. There it is. Okay, so that's that's one of me that I did. I think that's the one I'm going to use for this game. So that's me, right? I've got my ears, my hairline, my glasses, that kind of thing. So that is a picture of me that I'm going to use for this game. We're looking for something like that, right? Let's see. There was a knight that I created. Here it is. There's a knight, right? So the front of the helmet's there. And notice that it's rotating. It's because I have 4 different sprites with him facing different directions. We actually don't need 4 different sprites. We just need him facing up, and then we will rotate him around using some code. We're going to write the code to make them rotate. So you don't actually need 4 different sprites. But yeah, you can just design what your character would look like if you were looking at them from the sky and looking down on them. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to design a main character, and you can use, your character can be anybody you want. Like I said, I'm going to use myself. You can make, a fantasy character, a wizard, a spaceman, whatever you want to do. It's completely up to you. So that's what we're going to be working on. And then this is going to be our main character in our game. We're going to dump this into the game in the next week or so, and you'll be able to see how effectively we can pull something like this off. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys get started with your artwork. Have a blast making this stuff. It's going to be really, really fun. Do not forget, when you are, let me just get in here really quick. I want to just show you one more time. When you are done, you want to both save your design as a Pascal and you want to export your design as a PNG. You need to do both of those things or it's not going to work. All right, cool. Yeah, get to work, have fun, and I will see you guys another day. All right, peace.